Every time I hit record or share or do anything, I have to get all my windows back up again. Classic. All right. I don't know why that was auto hides everything. I just shared my screen again and it hit everything, even though I just set it up. Okay. It's just my daily complaining about Teams. Okay. So I'm actually pretty excited about sharing this because I've actually never done a class like this before. In the whole 3 years, I have been teaching this class. So I hope you like what I'm going to share, and I'm pretty excited to share. So when I started this semester, I said that we didn't want to become experts in the tool, like in Figma itself, because tools change, the way we do things change. But really, at the end of it, we're trying to deliver some really great designs for people, and we're just trying to get closer to that. And there was a question that was asked, I think, in this semester a few weeks ago. Was like, okay, this design looks really good or looks interesting. How do I make it like a real thing? Do I have to code this thing? And Figma has some coding tools and so on, and we will go back to Figma. But I think this tool could be helpful for building websites that, again, like I said, I haven't shared before, so this will be the first time running through this class, so I might be rusty, but I'll show you how easy it is to build some really dynamic websites and designs. You can still use it for prototyping and things like you use Figma still, but this one is called Framer, and it is free to kind of get started and use it, so that's why I'm also sharing it. If you go to framer.com, that is where you'll find it, and this is the homepage. And right now, this homepage talks about using AI to build websites, and that's one thing, but we're not even going to use that. And if you want to explore this website, it kind of tells you what it's all about. You can design, it might look familiar like Figma, and you can see some people's design works there, and you can also then ship this design. I'll show you how easy that is in a minute. So this is what it is. You can learn more about it. You can have blogs on it and so on. It's like building on a whole entire website. But like I said, if we look at the UI again of the way this looks, it looks like Figma. Even here is showcasing how you can do things for like tablet and mobile. So things that we're familiar with. So again, we're not trying to become experts in Figma, but we're trying to become experts in design, in product design. And you can see here, even in this new tool, those things should feel familiar. We have a desktop, tablet, and mobile breakpoints here and viewports. So hopefully that looks all familiar. It tells you about some of the things it can do. This can, for your websites, if you decide to do this, you can do things like localization, change language, all kinds of stuff. You can use AI, but for us, we don't really need to do any of that. But it should feel familiar, and I'll show you how it works in a minute. But if you want to explore it, this is the website to check out. And like I said, it is free. So if you want to start for free, you can just click on design your site from scratch, and you use your Google or type in your email, and you can go and check all that stuff out afterwards. So let me just switch this over here. Now, what are we going to design? So I've opened this up. I'm logged in. So when you're logged in, you'll create a new page, and you'll be logged in. And this is what it looks like. So hopefully it looks familiar-ish to Figma a little bit. We still have our layers over here on the left. They're a little bit different. And then all the toggles and switches will be on the right. And the reason why this product is called Framer is because everything you do in Framer is a frame. So we hit that F key that we're familiar with from Figma. You click and drag, and it's our first rectangle. So we're 50% of the way there, right? You can take this, resize it, so it should all feel really familiar. Some of the words change a little bit, but not too much. Again, if you want to change the color of this, it's under styles. So if you go to fill, there we go, familiar UI that we're familiar with our gradients and so on that we've worked with. It still kind of works all the same. Again, border radius, all that good stuff is here as well. It's just, they might be switched around a little bit. And there's new tools in here that we'll get familiar with in a minute. But I really want to show you how easy it is to make a really dynamic website that you can use. So I'm just going to call this like our movie website. Now, why am I going to call it that? Well, to find inspiration for something that we should do first, is I'm just going to go to the Apple website, and this is the Apple TV Plus. And if we scroll down, they have some very cool scrolling effects here for the text and so on. But the one I want to pay attention to is this part here. Is when we scroll down and we are finished that scrolling animation, we'll see this page right here. It has a carousel of TV shows, sports, and so on at the top. And down here at the bottom, we have what they're calling these things that's like tickers. So, stock tickers, and they kind of move nicely across the screen. And if we clicked on one of these, we can go and learn more. Again, it opened up something else there for me. I don't think you can see that. Or you can go and see more. But isn't that a cool effect? You got your own carousel over here, and then you have these other shows sliding in the bottom. And if I scroll over with my mouse on one of these, I was just doing it. There we go. You notice that the speed of the scrolling kind of slows down. I move my mouse outside of that, and it goes back to its normal speed. I'll put my cursor over it, and it just slows it down. So if I want to check out one of these, it just slows down that speed, and they're all going at their own different speed. So how could we make that with Framer? So Framer, you can use this on the browser as well, and you can also get your own desktop app as well. They have one for Mac and PCs. So how would we go about doing that? Well, just like Figma, if we click on our frame, which one this is, it's called desktop. You go to fill, and the first thing I'm going to do is just make it all black. So now we got the black UI that we need for the background of our design. And now let's explore kind of the layers panel a little bit more. We got layers over here. See this? I'll take a screenshot again so it's a little bit easier to see. 1 second. That didn't work. There we go. Again, first time doing this class, so it's going to be a little bit rough, but let's see. I'll just do it this way. Frame, fill, just like before, or image. I'll go and choose my image from my desktop so you can all see it. And here it is. You'll have things like pages, layers, and assets, and I'll share what all those things are in a minute. But the main one we want to go and see is layers. And pages work like pages in Figma, where in this case, though, we're building pages for our whole website. So in Figma, we use pages for like, okay, I want to design, the about page, and maybe I'll try a whole bunch of things. This one, you're really creating the about page. So you can link to it and so on. You got your layers and you got your assets, and CMS, Content Management System, is what that stands for, which is just a fancy word for, blogs or articles or journals or anything like that you can use. And the Canvas thing, I haven't really used before, so I can't speak too much about it. Okay, so that's what that UI is like. And we'll go to assets. So again, this is where we start building out a design system. So for now, we'll just ignore that. I want us to get to creating that really cool design with the carousel and then those tickers floating by. So we're going to click Insert, which is on the top left. There's a whole bunch of other things as well that you might be familiar with, like text and so on. But we're just going to go to Insert. And when you go to Insert, you're going to get a couple of options here. And then what's nice about Framer is that they kind of give you like some templates to really get started quickly. So if we want to create a landing page like this one here, and click that landing page, and it even gives me the templates for tablet and mobile as well. So I can come in and start editing my text or changing my style. So it just gives you a nice head start with what you're looking to build. I'm just going to hit undo for that. So you got other types of things here, like a blog article and so on and so on. And now you have sections, things like, just a hero image or some columns and so on. They're all kind of pre-made for you already, which is good. And things like a form. So again, you can just take some of these. For example, I'll do like a form, click and drag it, And boom, now I have a form set up for my website. And again, I'll show you something really cool in a minute and why all that is pretty neat. Okay, and then navigation. So we'll talk about all that stuff later. This is blog stuff. But this is where we're getting some interesting things here. We got some media. So if you want to drop in an image, a video, a YouTube link, all that stuff, you can do it from here. Some forms again, integrations, icons. So the other really cool thing about this is, you know how we were going out to the community to get icons? Well, Framer has a set of built-in icons already that you can leverage for free for personal and commercial use if you'd like. You can use these. Let me just use, which one did I use? Like, let's see. And if I click on this one, go to my layers panel there, icon there. I have a drop down, and now all of these are just a bunch of icons available to me for free, like the playlist one. That probably could have been useful last week for the Spotify one, playlist ad. All of these, get for free. And they just kind of built into your design pretty nicely. So makes it easier to get started into design when you want to design. You can integrate social, and then you can even include some code here if you want to. But the part that we want is right here, interactive. So we can do like a search bar. We can do a ticker symbol, slideshow, and a carousel. So we can do some pretty cool things with some of this. So the first one that I want to do is really this slideshow. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to drop it in here. Now, like we saw earlier, we have a slideshow at the top. And then we had the ticker here at the bottom. So how do we add content to this? And this is where this is a little bit different than Figma that you may not be familiar with. Essentially what you need to do, you zoom out, and again, zooming works the same thing, the same way as Figma. We just, command minus, control minus, or zoom in, zoom out, like with a trackpad or whatever case you may be using. So I have this here, and I can set this to any height and width that I want. So I can do something like 880 by 500. I can just type in that width over here. Now, why is it important for me to know the width and height? Well, I'm going to go and create another frame, F. So we're not doing rectangles, we're doing frames. And we'll make it the exact same size, 800 by 500. Okay, so you're wondering, why are we making this frame over here? And I'm going to name this one. I can rename it. Right click if you're looking for tools, rename it. Rename it to, I'm just going to call it 1. Now, this one here, I just want an image. Again, we're not going to have TV shows or anything like that. So how do I add an image? We go to our fill, we get an image, and we get to choose an image from our desktop if we want. Or right now, Unsplash is all automatically built in. So in Figma, we had to install Unsplash. This one, you don't need to install it. It's just already built in. We click Unsplash, and it works very much the same way. So let's click on something that looks like would-be movie titles. Maybe that one looks like a moody picture. That's cool. Duplicate, same thing as Figma. Now, when I duplicate it, I get the next one, exact same size, and the naming stays the same. But in here now, we can go and change that image. That's another one we can pick. Let's see. Okay, we can type in anything that we want. This one looks like a cool picture as well. And there we go. It just takes a second. Let's do 4 of these. So I apologize, but you're going to have to watch me do this 4 times. But again, click Fill, Unsplash for an image. And just let's select something that's nice and colorful as well. There we go. That one looks good. And this one with, like, maybe it's an adventure film. So I'm going to do some scuba diving there. Okay. That's cool. Actually, let's just pick this one over here. Okay, so there we go. So we have 4 of these. I'm going to zoom in. Now you're wondering, why did we make 4 of these? Why did we do that? Well, the thing that's really cool is that every single frame that you have here, it's almost like its own mini design, like each one of these blocks. And why is that important? Because I can go to my carousel, my slideshow, and I can zoom in here. When you hover over your slideshow, you have these triple dots there. You click and drag, and you're just connecting the content pieces that you want to go in your slideshow. So I selected the first one. Now I want to go and select the next one. I'm going to zoom out so I can just click and drag. Third one and the fourth one. You might be wondering, well, that's cool and all, but how does this actually work? Well, you'll see a play button on your desktop frame. You can click play, and this is going to show you a preview of your design. And it auto slides for us already. It has arrows for us to go back and forth and a nice little indicator around here. And you get all that for free. It's kind of built in. But sometimes we just want to change this out a little bit. Maybe we don't want it exactly like it is by default. So there's a few things you can do, and all those toggles and switches you get on your slideshow on the right. So what do we mean by that? Well, you can change the direction of your slideshow. You can go the other way. You can go up and down. Totally up to you. You can autoplay it or not. How long it takes to autoplay between them, a second or not. Is it draggable? Can people click and drag? Oh, a bunch of cool effects. The one that I am interested in is this one over here. It says clipping. I really like the way that the one on the Apple website, those ones had a nice rounded corner there. I kind of want the exact same thing. And I also liked how you could see a little bit of the other ones. The other ones were a little bit more like faded out, and they, gained in transparency full view when they were in view. So I can do that under clipping. So I want to say fades. I can say yes. When it's not the actual slide, I want it to fade. And for my clipping here, let's see. Is that the one I am looking at? Okay, that looks good. Fade. Let me just change this. Okay, we're going to go to show. Sorry, the clipping one there. Instead of fade, we're going to go show overflow. For some reason, I don't know if I was missing that. But you'll see when I did flow there, an overflow, now I can see the other slides next to it. I click play. Now all the slides show up there, which is nice. And just go through my slideshow. Cool. Now the border radius part, I can also change here and just go to radius, type in, I think it's something like big, like 16, maybe 24, something like that. And let's click and play. Maybe I'm doing something wrong there. 1 second. Because again, like I said, don't have everything completely memorized yet. But maybe you can select all these. We'll give this a radius. Let's give it a radius of 24. And there we go. That's the way you do it. Like I said, every single frame that you have in here, consider that like a mini design world where you can make it look any way that you want, that it will present itself on the slide. This gives you more flexibility because like, if I just want to design kind of like just this one, for example, and let's say this is like a movie of some sort, and I hit T for my text and say The Great Adventure or something. That's my text. I can hit F there to change the color for that. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Great Adventure. And I can change my own type in here, something like Ultra, which is a really cool font. Again, you get all these fonts for free, all kind of built in. So there we go. I got that one. But now maybe for this one, we want our own text, something completely different. We'll go back to enter like this, and we can call it, I don't know, the movie. So again, each one of these can have its own design elements, and the cool thing is it just automatically, because we've connected them, automatically go to our slideshow, which is pretty neat. There we go. So we can really make a slideshow out of anything, which is neat. Okay, so how do we do that ticker symbol now? So let's go over here. We're going to go to Insert, and we're going to click on Ticker. So you can get this kind of for free, and I'm just going to put one down here. And it gives us a default size of 400 by 200. Now we get the similar UI as the one above, right? It's asking us to connect to content. So we'll just do the exact same thing we did before. We'll go F. We'll do, what was it, 400 by 200. Okay, so let me just make the same one. Okay, and same thing. We can add our own layers. We can do anything that we want. We'll go to Unsplash and we'll just select a bunch of random images here. That one's good. Make the next one. Unsplash again. So I have to pick these at random. Here we go. Let's just do, I think 5 of these will be good. And let's pick another one. This dog one. And 2 more. Okay. And this one. Very simple. Again, once you know where the tools are, pretty easy to figure out. Kind of like everything else. Okay. There we go. So we have that. And we'll do the exact same thing here for our ticker. We click and drag, and we are just connecting all of these. There we go. Connecting all of them, and there we go. I don't like that one for some reason. I don't think it looks as good as the other ones. I'm getting picky now, which doesn't really matter. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we have this ticker, but with the ticker, you want to increase the size. You want this to be full width. You're going to increase it to be full width. The cool thing about Framer is that you are able to set sizing to be relative to the viewport. What does that mean? Well, if I want this to be full width or to only take up 50% of the width of the viewport, you can do all that just with a couple of toggles and switches. So for the width, I can say I want it to be relative. And the relative, I mean I want it to always be 100%. Full width. That's how we do full width for this. Before I had it something static, like 1,000 pixels wide. And now we go to the ticker, and we can see that these things are called children. So it has 5 children that we've connected. We give it the alignment, and you can work around with your spacing for these if you want. How much padding, sizing, and any clipping that we may want to do. And here's the cool hover effect. Well, first let me show it to you. We go play, and here we go. It's loaded up all the images. It just took a second, but here we go. Just like that, with a couple of clicks, we got our slider that we can use, and we have our ticker working down here at the bottom. Now, but if I hover over this, it just doesn't slow down like the one we saw earlier. So we can change that. We can now click on ticker, hover speed. You know what? We don't want that. We want to slow it down by like 80%. I'm going to go and just slow it down. So 0.2. And click play, and my mouse is there, and it slows down. Speeds up, slows down. Very cool. All right, so that's that. Now, like anything else in Figma, this is just a frame, so we can just increase the size here a little bit. Also, one thing is I do want these all to have a nice border radius. I'll increase the border radius to like 16. There we go. And now, really, if I want to make another ticker, I'm going to just duplicate, just drag one down here, and there it is. And really, all that I need to do is select my new frames that I want from there. So we kind of want the same ones from up here. Duplicate. This one's not connected to anything, but this could be more for my second one. And we will just change those fairly easily again. The thing that takes the most time here is just like changing out all these images. And that is about it. This is like a planet of some sort. Looks like a movie poster. Now I can modify all these by clicking and dragging, but I can also select my ticker and I can go to its children's there, and I can say, okay, if I had named all of these, it would show which ones they are. So I can just go and kind of just delete all these if I want to, just right click. So I can just go remove all, and then I can just go and add them again. Very simple. So it's going to be like a different naming for this if I wanted to. Ticker 2. And then we can just go ahead and do the exact same thing we did before. Just 5 more of those. And changing all the images. Now, I like changing all the images just because it makes it look more realistic of what we're doing. Some pastel colors. Is fine. And let's change this one to that one. And these are all kind of familiar things that we've seen before. And I'm going to select all these, and I'm going to say connect them all. Okay. Doing a lot of this work, but again, we're getting a lot of free interactions. And the nice thing about this one is if we click play, you'll notice that they're both scrolling at the exact same speed, but we can change that. We all kind of know how already. Is we are going to go to its speed at 100%. We kind of want this one to be at like, maybe like 50%. It's just going a little bit slower than the next one. There you go. Now we have that. This one I feel like is going like way too fast. So I'm going to reduce that one down to 80. That should be a bit better. There we go. So we kind of recreated this already fairly quickly. We do things like hover effects, like a button and so on, but I think that's enough for you to kind of get started. And I'll show you the magic trick to all this, which is super cool. I'm going to do the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert key, like our movies or something, or like, how about this? How about key and plus, huh? How's that? New TV channel. Just make it look cool with like a bold. Okay, so there it is. That's kind of like our movie TV offering here. And now check this out. Let's say we're happy with this, right? In Figma right now, you create something that you really, really like. You can create a prototype link and share it with other people. Let's say you made this website, and now you want the world to see it. There's this publish button. Click publish. And what Framer does for you, it creates an entire website available to be viewed online. Again, it just gave us a random URL. But again, you could change it to modify it to something like mywebsite.framer.app, or you can use your own custom domain name. So, for example, for me, it would be like my URL, or you can have it so you can attach your own, so it does look like your own. And so if I were to give you this link, that is a full working website on the internet, and we just made it in less than 30 minutes. And we have some cool slideshow effects, tickers, and again, it really just works like Figma. Let me show you something else about this. I'm trying to do this in a way that you can kind of see it. The nice thing about this as well, because it is a full website, so I'm using a simulator tool here to simulate other devices, is that it almost already works really well on mobile. So if you wanted to create your own specific view for mobile, you can go to your website, go back to this, and we can create a breakpoint. And the breakpoint is, do you want it for a tablet or phone? If I did on phone, now this is my view. So this is telling me, hey, this is what your website's going to look like on a mobile device. I can just reduce that down like this and like that. Bring these up. I can also reduce their sizing and bring them up like this. And now if I go back to I just click publish again. And I refresh. Boom. Done. Like a real website working, and it adapts to a responsive. Again, you can make it better and stuff. I just did that super quickly, but to give you an idea, like you can completely modify this to any view that you may have. It just adapts that design, and we're all doing that in our design tool that hopefully feels similar to Figma. So feels like a lot, but I went over it super quickly with a couple of things. Again, these we can drag and drop, but I like for you all to try it as well. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, good question. So I'll go over this again, but I want you all to try. So if you go to framer.com, you can log in for free. Like I said, you can start with just like design your site from scratch. That's probably the easiest one to do. So good question. How do I do the slideshow again? Okay. So if you're looking to try this for yourself, what I am going to do, I'm just going to create a brand new page. One second. What am I doing wrong? Oh, there we go. Pages. And I will go to about. So I'm going to show you again how easy it is to create other pages for your website as well. So I'll just kind of recreate the same thing. So blank slate, you go to insert and you'll find that slideshow under interactive. slideshow, click and drag. And then this is where we will connect our other frames. So what is this one? 800 by 500. Okay. Go ahead and try it for yourself. And if you design something, you can click publish and get your own URL, which is cool. Hey, you're welcome. And I'll go to fill. Now, one thing that I want to be super clear about is that you get this like URL that it makes up for you for free. If you do want to host this with your own personal domain name, that does cost money. I think it's like $18 a month or something like that. Just want to make that clear. But like anything that has like a custom domain costs money. But you can use the whole entire tool for free, designed for clients, all that stuff. And then when they're ready to pay for it, they can go ahead and pay for it. And it's a live website that they can actually have. And then you can come in here and you can just edit it. At any time, you can bring in collaborators. That's the kind of stuff that costs like money, like having a lot of people edit it. Just want to be clear if I wasn't. But using the tool and getting like a random domain name like I just gave you there is completely free. Because again, one of the biggest questions I've always had working on this class is teaching it. People ask, oh, this is a really cool design. I wish this was my actual website. I have to go and code it and all that stuff. Well, for your personal website, to kind of give you like the portfolio and so on, this is a great way to kind of leverage both. You can still bring in code and so on and make it even more impactful. But kind of like some of those basic UI bits, I think this is a fun way to get your designs out there. Now, the other cool thing here is we can go and we can go to key in and we can go copy paste and we'll go to like the about page. You know, every web page has links. And we go something like that and just reduce it down. Now this one here, this text, I can make this into a link to go to my about page that I just made. And there we go, it's at the top. So I select my text layer, link, I want it to go to my about, and there it is. That's done. And I get my own link UI if I want to. And if I go to my about, and I can have another text here that says home. I can go on link and go to home, and I am done. Now I can just click publish. It updates this page, and then make sure I publish this one, publish, update, and I'll hit refresh. Might take a second. Oh, about for some reason is right in the middle. I don't know why that is. Let me figure that out quick. Why is that? Okay. So that was float to the right. Publish, update, refresh again, and I can click and go to my about page. There it is. I can go back home. So this is really great because later on in the course, we talk about making your own portfolio website. And so this could be a way to help you maybe showcase your work for like a working website that you can use and use some cool effects. And again, we're only scratching the surface of what this can do. How do you publish? Good question. Let's go. Let's see. I think it goes settings, which gives you all this. Like you can set up your own SEO stuff in here, which is pretty good. Social image. General. Unpublished. There it is. Danger zone. They even call it a danger zone. How fun is that? You click on publish and you can unpublish it there. So I'll give you all like another 10 minutes, well, 14 minutes till 9:50. Go ahead and try it on your own. I think this is good practice, even just to get familiar with another tool, because this will happen in the real world. You know, you'll get really familiar with a tool, like, oh, this tool will be around forever, and boom, something happens in a brand new tool kind of appears. So getting familiar with multiple tools, but the same principles still apply is a good practice to get it into. Framer has been a product that's been around for a while, but I really felt like it was necessary to show it and share it with you all because it has taken the design world by storm recently with just these really great updates that I've been making over time. They just raised something like $40 million, I think, to continue to fund what they're doing. So I think it's important to kind of be aware of it. Yeah, you can share it. Yeah, so it's great for feedback, right? Even if you're working on a SaaS product or any product at all, and you quickly want to collect some info from people, hey, can you have a look at this? What do you think of this? Like, you can still make prototypes, you can do all that stuff, and that link is there for people to use. Yeah, yeah, that's why I felt like I had to share this tool because, like I said, I've been kind of playing with it now for a few weeks. I've actually used it for a client recently. I've used some of those cool effects, and it's just kind of like, oh wow, this is like this is way better than a prototype. This is like a real website, and just that prototype. Some things in Figma, the prototypes are good, but the prototypes don't adapt as well for like a mobile device. So usually the main question I get for any project that I'm working on, oh, that looks great on desktop. What does it look like on mobile? Well, the first thing they do is try it on mobile or like a tablet. Like, oh, I can't really tell what it looks like. This one is you really build a design once, like I showed you how the easy it is to change to responsive, and it just happened right away. Yeah, that's a big one, big advantage. So go ahead and try that out. Another 12 minutes left. Yeah, Framer raised $27 million like a couple of weeks ago. September 28th. Yeah, so that's the way it worked for me. So I had I did the design in Figma, but then I was like, oh, I really want to see what Framer's like too. So I really took the Figma design, and I could have started from scratch, and I recreated it in Framer. And I did the homepage because there were some cool tricks like that ticker thing. I added some ticker stuff. I added like a cool slideshow. I did a whole bunch of stuff. I'll show another cool trick in a minute that you can do with it. And it's kind of like, yeah, well, this is working. You're like, I love it. Like, let's just get it online. And it's just a matter of adding the domain, paying for it, and then the website. It's like live anytime that they want. Fully designed, works with SEO and all that stuff. Small slices, not sure how to get each image on its own, one image following the other. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. For the slideshow bit. Okay, let me see. They're kind of on top of each other. Small slices. Okay. I think I ran into this in the past. Trying to recreate it. One thing to check for your slideshow is how wide is your slideshow. If you click on it here, is the width, maybe try something like 800 by 500. It's usually the first thing I double check to see how that. Okay, that's what you have, and they're still overlapping each other. Okay, let me see. Okay, and these frames over here, these ones over here, the one you're connected to. Okay, okay. The slides that you connected, are those slides also 800 by 500? And I'm sorry if you've already done this, but I'm just trying to work backwards. Okay. Because I'm going to try to break mine here. And this happened to me before. It's funny when you're trying to like find the bug or the thing, it never actually works. Isn't that funny? Okay, thanks for sharing the screenshot. Okay. Okay. Direction, 2 items, interval. Huh. That all looks good. Interesting. Oh, I think I see items. Do you see under items you have 4? I think that is asking us how many items we want to see at one time that you've connected. Change that to 1. To 1 item. Because I have 1 item in mind. Let me see if I go to 4. Yeah. You can put in more than 1 item in that thing. Sweet. Awesome. Looks great, by the way. Good job. Very cool. Yeah, I think this is just such a fun tool because you get kind of these things out of the box, which they provide, and there are other resources. They have Framer community as well, so if you want to let people build out some really cool stuff. But for now, we'll stick with this. Okay. Question. How did you get the other frames you showed next to the main slideshow again? Which shows 1 now. Yeah. This one I always find I was gonna like look it up every time I do it. So click on your frame for your slideshow. Click on the slideshow in your main frame. And it's under clipping. It's a weird word for it. And you'll get a pop over and it says overflow, and we want to show that. So just default to hide, go to show. Cool, awesome. It's good. And while you're doing, I'll give you another 5 minutes to work on that. What I'm going to be doing next is I'm just going to adding some images on the screen, so nothing there. When I click on the styles, I don't have option of color. Okay, option for color. Okay, so if you are clicking on the slideshow in your main frame, you won't see fill there. But you will see it on the frames you created next to it. And there you'll have the fill, so you can add your own splash. Now, I'm assuming that's what's happening. And you can let me know. Because like the slideshow is kind of like a component, and all the design that's going to be happening into it is connected somewhere else. So, which in this case is our frame. Hope that solved your problem. If not, let me know. I'm going to try to troubleshoot something else.
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, awesome, sweet. Okay, again, on this thing that I'm working on right now, you don't need to kind of follow along, continue what you're doing. I just don't want you to just watch me add a bunch of images right away. show you lots of fun tricks. You can spend your weekend playing around with some of this tool stuff. Which is essentially what I'm trying to do. Okay. If you do have any questions, please do let me know. I'm just going to be doing this. I really need to buy a mouse pad. All that scratching is just my mouth on the table. Yeah, let's say the scroll arrows and dots are only around the first image and not applying to all the images on the slideshow. Okay, let me see. Okay, so that one, because those arrows, let me see what mine looks like if we get there. Okay, so they kind of go away. Okay. Huh. Do you have a screenshot by any chance? It could be helpful. It's possible as well to double check that your slideshow, your main component, is connecting to all the other frames outside. So just kind of assuming here maybe that yeah, maybe it's just the way the slideshow is set up. We want one slideshow for all 4 images. Yeah, if you have a screenshot or good. Okay, I'll come back to the question. Just quickly look at the screenshot here. Oh, I see. So this is the slideshow. And you have overflow set up. Okay, I see. So that slideshow that you have, that is kind of like the main one, and only the controls will be available on that one. Because usually we don't see all the other slides that you have there, but I'm sure there must be a way to have it so that another thing you could potentially do just with that setup, because it almost looks like the ticker and it doesn't. I go back to pages, home. Again, if that's the style you're going for, you can change the layout of those arrows a little bit. So your arrow positioning, we can change the positioning and the size and all that stuff to inset. So the arrows, you can put them outside. Oops, that's not happening. Inset minus like 200. And you kind of see now that my arrows are outside of the main frame, and then the dots, we could also potentially move them. Instead of being inset, we can give it like, yeah, I think it's, I'll have to look into it to see how we can put it in the middle. Or you can move your slideshow to the middle of the screen, and then the overflow, when you go to play for it, it'll show the other slides next to it. It's just that in your preview of your design, your main slideshow is on the left. But if we put that in the middle, I mean, overflow, the other ones should wrap around. But yeah, the controls will only be available per one image. Hope that answers the question. That's a tricky one. Cool. How do you click and drag to make a copy again? I did it on, okay, yes. Let me double check it. I think you can do it. If you're in a Mac, hold down Option, click and drag. Okay, let's see. Okay, awesome. How that worked. All right, we got 5 minutes left. Then let me see something here. Fill. Nope. Looks like an alien spaceship. Let's see. Okay, I think that is right. Okay, I think you can see the effect good enough. And the last thing, relay. I don't want to relay. Okay, I'm going to interrupt you all from your what you were doing there. So there's other cool tricks you can do in Framer to make your site a little bit more dynamic. So what I was doing there, which again, you didn't need to watch me do it, but essentially what I was doing there is I created a frame, I created an image, I created all the frames with images in them, which we've seen, just made them different sizes. And then I just had another section down here. This section that I got was just from the insert sections, and it was just this one up here, just a generic section page. But now you'll see this really cool effect that you'll see on websites a lot, which we almost had from the Apple website here a little bit. You'll notice that as I'm scrolling, there's some scrolling animations, and there's almost like this parallax effect that happens. And you can do the exact same thing in your designs. So check this out. I'm going to go and click play. And I'm just going to reduce the height. Let's just pretend this is all you can see. But you'll notice something here. Usually when we scroll anything on a website, they all scroll at the exact same speed. So what do I mean by that? Like all the images here, that whole thing would just scroll up. I think it's probably best if I just actually just do it here. And here, and okay, now I would have to delete them each time. That's fine. I'll just delete them real quick and I'll just undo them in a second. Just so you fully see the effect and how you can do it yourself. Okay, I'm going to click play. And you'll see now, reduce the viewport, which is nice. This is a nice thing about the viewer in Framer is they can simulate different viewports. If I just scroll now, do you notice the images scroll the exact same way? Like they're all just statically positioned on view. But let's hope my undo worked. Command Z, good. Okay. Now when I click play on my view, and I reduce this down again, every single image is going to scroll at their own speed as you scroll on the website. Just check this out. As I scroll, do you notice how like the smaller image over here scrolls faster than the other ones? It just is create cool parallax effect. All you really do to create that is you can go to any element, you click on effects. I think there's one here that didn't have an effect to yet. This one here, yeah, this one here, effects. Click effects, scroll speed, and this Figma is going to do all the math for you. It's going to figure out, to add this for you. I'm going to say go really fast. I wanted to speed up almost twice as fast as the scroll speed, and you'll see this one should fly up faster than the other ones. You can just do that for every single element. Now see this? Now when I scroll, I get the full image of that, and it goes out of view even before this one in the background. And when we scroll back up, same effect. Kind of have to really try it for yourself to kind of see it, but believe me, it's pretty cool. So that's a parallax effect. So you can imagine all kinds of cool things you can do with that cool parallax effect. And it's just adding effects to scroll speed and giving different elements to tell them to scroll at different speeds. And they have this really cool dynamic scrolling feature. It almost feels like this bottom section is like scrolling and floating on top of the other ones over there. It scrolls over that text. Whereas before, when I scrolled, these would just be static and they just scrolled up. We can spend more time on that next time, but I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of hints of what you can do. Lots of stuff on YouTube as well. Framer has a lot of great tutorials online on YouTube as well. So if you're super interested in trying it out a little bit more, go for it. And if you have something to share on Tuesday, that'd be awesome. We can do a little show and tell. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, first time I've ever done this class, so a bit special. Try something new, and it's cool. Thank you for sharing your screenshots, and it's cool to troubleshoot some things as well as you're doing it. So thank you for all you for sharing, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it and had fun. And again, we'll continue this on Tuesday. All right, so hope you had fun with it. Enjoy your weekends, and I will see you on Tuesday.